Hello, everybody, and welcome to the TARDIS Zone. And this is the TARDIS Zone Talks. And the newspapers yesterday broke a story about Phoebe Waller-Bridge and Doctor Who. Our BBC boss is going to make the biggest mistake and hamper RTD by bringing in a woman that has absolutely no experience in writing sci-fi. I have obviously I know of Phoebe Waller-Bridge. She was involved in Broadchurch Series 2, which people consider one of the actually a very pretty poor season of Broadchurch. She was showrunner of Killing Eve, the fourth season, which was received very well by a lot of people. She's obviously currently involved in Indiana Jones, and she also had a hand in the screenplay for the last Daniel Craig Bond movie. But this woman has absolutely no experience writing for sci-fi, and I do not get the logic behind it whatsoever. If they're bringing her in because they want to add some comedy elements, I would have no problem with that. But unfortunately, Phoebe Waller-Bridge, as you know, has been very, she's a typical actress of today, agenda-driven woman, and, it reflects in her writing. Do we need more feminist crap in Doctor Who after 5 years of it? I'm saying no, we do not. Right? Doctor Who is a sci-fi program. Okay? So bring in writers that have experience with sci-fi. Now, I think look, her name was brought up before, right? And it was brought up during Jodie Whittaker's era, right? And, there was talks of her, being involved in the Chibnall era, but it never seemed to transpire. Now her name has popped up again, and media outlets are reporting the article is in the link description of the video if you want to read it. Obviously, we're just going to breeze over this real quickly, see what the Mail Online has to say. So, the Mail Online says, this is all part of a huge effort. BBC bosses draft in Phoebe Waller-Bridge to help reboot Doctor Who and turn it into a super brand, following Fleabag's creator success with James Bond's smash No Time to Die. Now, I have watched No Time to Die. Was it as bad as people were reporting? No, absolutely not. But we did hear rumours that a lot of that script was rewritten, right? So maybe not all of the stuff got in, because it did. The movie wasn't what we all expected the movie to be. Now, whether you like the way it ended or not, that's besides the point. But the movie itself was actually pretty decent, because a lot of people were fearing that we'd have all of this nonsense from Phoebe. But there were rumors that, there was when people found out she was obviously part of it, there was a bit of a backlash. And apparently, it's been well reported out there that the script had gone through a few changes. So let's see what they're saying. So BBC bosses are reportedly set to sign Phoebe Waller-Bridge to help reboot Doctor Who ahead of the new series, which would be a bad idea. They've already got an award-winning writer in RTD, right? He has his own team of writers that have been highly successful. So why would you want to disturb the apple cart and bring in someone that's unknown to sci-fi, right? And I don't care if she's won awards for other shows and all of this. She has no experience writing sci-fi, right? So if she wants to get into this genre, maybe she should go off and create her own series and see how successful it is. And then if she proves that she's actually good enough to write sci-fi, then draft her in. But you don't draft her in knowing that she has absolutely no experience. This would be a big mistake, in my opinion. And already the reaction to these media reports, and if you go and you read in the threads, a lot of fans are not on board with this. They're not on board with this, and they do not want this. They do not want inexperience anymore. We've had enough of that for the last 5 years. So according to The Sun, I wouldn't take much credence in The Sun, by the way. But it is the same kind of the same family newspapers as the Mirror, so maybe there is something in this. The Fleabag creator, 37, impressed producers after being drafted in to help give James Bond's 2019 No Time to Die script a modern twist. It comes as the series will see Ncuti Gatwa, 30, take on the role of the famous Time Lord, and the budget is swelling to 10 million per episode, thanks to the Disney Plus, the deal with Disney Plus, obviously. An insider told the publication, this is all part of a huge effort to deliver a huge reboot of Doctor Who and turn it into a global super brand on par with Star Wars and Marvel. I don't think you want it on par with Star Wars and Marvel because they're dying right now. It's a question of whether they can come up with a strong enough deal to entice her to Doctor Who, given she's been constantly swamped with offers from around the world. Mail Online has contacted reps for the BBC and Phoebe for comment, and of course, I bet you they declined. Phoebe was reportedly brought in as scriptwriter for 007's final outing to ensure the blockbuster was appropriate for the Me Too era, and this is why I'm going to have a problem with her, because that's all she'd be brought in for with Doctor Who, and we don't need it. We've had 5 years of it and it killed the show. Wake up and smell the coffee. And I don't know, maybe Russell would work with her, right? That's fair enough. But the thing about it is she has absolutely no experience. Right, so then they just go on to talk about the show there, blah, 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 blah. But absolutely, again, you know, the madness. Have they not been paying attention the last 5 years? You know, bringing RTD back, stroke of genius, or RTD coming back, stroke of genius. Bringing David Tennant back, stroke of genius. You do this, you're taking a step backwards, in my opinion. Right? She'd only be brought in because she's an advocate for Me Too, and all the female characters on it then will be fucking reflecting what all the women are like today. A bunch of nutcases. Right? And I'm talking about the radical feminists, by the way. I'm just sick and tired of this nonsense. It didn't work for 5 years, and you think it's going to work now? Sorry about that. I've just had to remove these fucking, you know, because YouTube again, you know, they're so worried about censoring people that they actually won't get rid of all the bots that turn up. You know, they're turning up on every video on YouTube. It's unbelievable. So we're just going to report that anyway. There you go. Gone. So yeah, I mean, look, it's not gone down well with the fandom. This is not going to go down well with the fandom. I don't know. I'm being honest with you. I don't get all the hype around her, to be quite honest with you. You know, and I don't think you should be bringing in people that don't have experience. This is what happened the last 5 years. We didn't have that experience. Chris Chibnall was so busy looking after his team of writers that his own scripts were obviously very poor because he was too busy trying to fix an inexperienced team's scripts. Look, I don't think there's anything in this, to be quite honest with you. But her name has been floating about since the Whittaker era, um, and it doesn't seem to be going away. And there may be a time in the future where she just does jump on board, but I hope it doesn't happen now. It cannot rock the boat right now. RTD has to deliver. His team of writers have to deliver. And if they start focusing on agenda and all of this crap again, we're back to square one. Right? We're back to square one. People just want Doctor Who to entertain them, to be the sci-fi show that it was, proper character development, proper story threads and plots. Everything that we've come to know Doctor Who, that's what we want. Now again, here's another story for you as well. And this would have been the wrong casting, in my opinion. And it just goes to show you if he was in the frame and he was offered a absolute whatever is going on with this casting business, it just seems to be absolutely I mean, look, I'll just put it up on screen. Again, the article's in the link description. But I think this one is the funniest one. There's no way, and I'm going to say it out straight, there's no way that this guy is Doctor Who material in any way, shape, or form. And I've watched this guy over the years, right? So it's someone that we all know. But apparently, Shane Ritchie, that plays Alfie Moon in EastEnders, was approached to play the lead in Doctor Who. But Albert Square apparently got in the way. So he was obviously offered this role way before. EastEnders legend Shane Ritchie has revealed he was once considered for the lead role of Doctor Who. Jesus Christ, man. The soap actor is joining the science fiction franchise for a big Finish audio stories to take over the classic role of Time Lord Drax opposite Paul McGann as the Eighth Doctor. Right now, I do remember actually him being in Big Finish, but I never knew he was offered. But he is not Doctor Who material, right? And I love Shane Ritchie, don't get me wrong, right? But he doesn't have the screen. This would have been the male version of Jodie Whittaker if he had been given the role. That's what we would have got with Shane Ritchie. He's just not good enough to play the role, and thanks be to God he never got it. I wouldn't mind seeing him in Doctor Who, maybe playing a villain or being someone in Doctor Who, but he's certainly not Time Lord material. Absolutely not. Right? That'd be like giving the role to Danny Dyer, whose name was also mentioned. Like, just wouldn't work. Just wouldn't work. So I thought that was funny. I wanted to show you that because that would have been laughable if he was given the role. As I said, no disrespect to him, but he is soap level actor. And Doctor Who would be too big for him. So he'd be in the same position as Jodie Whittaker. This is the male version, basically. It wouldn't have worked. So I want to make that clear. Shane Ritchie wouldn't have worked as the Doctor, in my opinion. Obviously, it is just my opinion, but that's where I stand on it. WizKid Bill says, I'll give the new series a chance, as I'd love it to be good again, but my expectations are low. Michael says, I still believe Time Lords do not change sex or colour, but I still give it a chance as I did with Jodie, who was rubbish. Fair point. Look, I'm still going to watch, obviously, and I'm still hyped, but I just think it'd be a big mistake bringing in Phoebe Waller-Bridge right now, right? Yeah, I know I know people say, well, she's proven herself. Yeah, she's proven herself in comedy. She's proven herself in crime drama. Absolutely. But she's not proven in sci-fi. So if she wants to try her hand at sci-fi, right, or it's just BBC trying to get her in, but if she wants to try her hand at sci-fi, I'd suggest that she write a sci-fi show. She get it out there, see if it ends up being successful, and she proves herself, then yes, bring her in. But we know why she did be bringing her in right now. And it wouldn't be to write sci-fi, right? It would be for her to write all of these female characters. And you see, she wouldn't just write the female characters uh, the way female characters should be written. She'd write them with her skewed opinions and stuff like that. So I'm not in favour. Absolutely not. I think it'd be an absolutely big mistake to bring her in right now. Because we know what would come with it. They wouldn't be bringing her in because, you know, she'd be one of the best writers there. As I said, she doesn't have experience with sci-fi. None. So, you know, again, it's a gamble. But fans, and people that have seen this pop up, have reacted negatively to it anyway. They've made it very clear that they don't want Phoebe Waller-Bridge anywhere near Doctor Who. Again, I just don't know what BBC is trying to achieve here. I mean, it's a Bad Wolf Studios production anyway, yeah? Now, BBC obviously they'll still have some say. They never weren't going to have any say. They're not going to, you know what I mean? They're going to have a little bit of input. We were worried, obviously, Disney were going to have that input, but thanks be to God, that's not happening. But BBC were always going to have a little bit of input. But if they're demanding, right, because this was thrown out 8 months and months ago, if they are demanding that certain people are brought in, then I'm sorry, yous are hampering RTD. Let him bring in who he wants. He wants to save the show. It's like as if BBC still, like, with all this new deals that are happening now, Doctor Who it could be in a good place. It's like as if they want to sabotage. Obviously, if this is true. But we'll just have to wait and see. As I said, our name has been mentioned a lot of times. Especially during the Jodie Whittaker era. Her name was floating about quite a lot. But her name doesn't seem to be going away. I just don't think this is a good idea right now, but we'll see anyway. We'll see. I mean, you know what makes me think that there could be something in this. If you think about it, Disney Plus, Disney owned Lucasfilm. She's working on Indiana Jones. They probably want her. And again, then that would be then. But you've all told us that Disney don't have any input. So then the question will have to be asked: do Disney actually have some input, and they're lying to us? Or is this BBC? Or is this just plain crap coming out of the Sun newspaper? Remember, the Sun newspaper in particular doesn't have a strong record. The Mirror does, their sister paper does. But the Sun newspaper is not very reliable, I have to be honest. And they're a scum newspaper anyway. Everybody in the UK hates the Sun. It's a scum newspaper. Right? Even in Ireland, we have the Sun here. It's a scum newspaper. Nobody likes it. Right? So, you know, because it is coming from the Sun, I'm pretty confident that maybe there's nothing in this. If it came from the mirror, I would take it. But the fact that it was broke on the sun and not the mirror is something. Robert says, I hope this is just people trying to spoil the fun of people looking forward to 14. Yeah, I mean, as I said, the Sun hasn't been very reliable, Robert. They never have. And as I said, they are a scum newspaper. Everybody hates the Sun newspaper. So I wouldn't take much credence in what they say. They had a period during the Whittaker era where they got some stuff right, I have to admit. But if the Mirror is not reporting this, and I wouldn't take any credence in it. But if there is any truth in this, it's an absolute stupid decision. With all the good decisions you've made so far, this would be the biggest mistake you could make. She has no experience, right? And she comes with baggage. And that baggage is our belief in the Me Too movement, which, in my opinion, has become a bit of a farce, especially as, we've seen lately with certain actress out there accusing a certain Hollywood star of stuff in the newspaper article, and that all went tits up for her. And she basically destroyed the Me Too movement. So, bringing her in and letting Phoebe Waller-Bridge inject her politics into the show, into the female characters, is not going to go down well with Doctor Who fans. Doctor Who fans have tuned out by their millions because of the last 5 years, because that's exactly what Chibnall and co did. So if you haven't learned from the mistakes, I tell you, I hope, like Robert, that this is bullshit. But if there's any truth in this, it's not going to go down with the fan. It's not going to go down well with the fandom, and those fans that are actually on board now, but have taken a lot of convincing to get on board. As soon as she's announced, if she gets announced, that's it. Those fans that were willing to give it a go are going to walk away. They're going to walk away and not even think about it for a second. They're gone. They're gone. That's the reality of the situation here. They will walk away. Right? So we'll be back to square one again. So let's hope it's bull crap from the Sun newspaper. Because if it's not, all of that goodwill, all of that stuff that's happened so far will be gone out the window. Because if you look at the reaction online to this is not positive. Right? The only people that are talking about it positively are the usual suspects. Because they love the idea that, a Me Too advocate came into Doctor Who, and then all the female characters were of that ilk. And that's exactly what will happen. So don't shoot yourselves in the foot. So far, so good. You've got everything, as far as I'm concerned, you've got everything spot on after a rocky start from RTD. Every announcement that's come ever since then has added to the hype, has added to the belief that we could get something great again. And this, as I said, this Phoebe Waller-Bridge brought in, all of that goodwill is going to dissolve. It's gone. Nobody wants her anywhere near Doctor Who, right? Because of the reasons that I mentioned. And also, for me personally, she doesn't have any experience. And we've seen what happens when you don't bring experienced writers into Doctor Who. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. So let's hope this is just one of those the Sun newspaper just trying to sell a few papers because, they see every time the Mirror reports on Doctor Who, it's the newspaper sells. So maybe they're desperate to sell their newspaper because it's a scum newspaper, as I said. But anyway, that's what's floating about today. So I thought I'd fill you in and let you know what's going on. But as I said, let's hope this is nothing but bull crap. Um, because this would be a bad, bad, bad idea to me. Absolutely. And I can already picture when the other big YouTubers get their hands on this story. Um, Again, it's not going to get a positive reaction. So keep Phoebe Waller-Bridge out of Doctor Who, please. And just concentrate on making the show the best it can be. And then, as I said, when she proves herself in the sci-fi arena and she goes off and she does her own thing and maybe another franchise will take that risk with her, that's fair enough. But I don't want her anywhere near Doctor Who. And for anybody saying that she was part of Star Wars and that's a sci-fi franchise, well, under Disney you wouldn't really call it a franchise, a sci-fi franchise. That's not Star Wars, right? There's only 3 movies. Well, there's 6 movies, right? Even though I'm not a huge fan of the prequel trilogy, it's still decent enough. And then you've got the original trilogy, but the rest of Star Wars that they made, with the exception maybe of Rogue One, absolutely rubbish. Right? Not even so. It's ridiculous. I was never a huge fan of Star Wars to begin with. Anyway, I was always a Trekkie, but you know, I did like it. I grew up with the original movies, so you know, I enjoyed them. But we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. But let's hope there's nothing in this because we can't. No, man, Jesus. It's the Sun newspaper, though, folks. Sun newspaper. Let's keep that in mind. Anyway, I'm going to clock off now because we will be back actually in about. I don't know. I'm going to set up the stream now. But we're doing the Christmas invasion. We're starting off our new Who Christmas watch alongs, and we're doing the first Christmas special, the Christmas invasion. So come and join me for that. I'll put the stream up shortly, and yeah, get yourselves into the chat and stuff, and we will get that on the go. And as I said, Noel Clark will be on. We've now hammered out the date and the time. So look out for the promotion video that I'll be throwing up on the channel. It'll give you the details. Come and join us for Brotherhood, the last movie of the Hood trilogy, where Noel is going to be discussing the movie like he did with the previous movie, Adulthood. And if you haven't actually watched that stream, if people have been living under a rock, we did have Noel Clark from obviously Doctor Who fame, and as you know, he has done his own stuff like Bulletproof and his movies and stuff. So we've had him on to discuss his movie Adulthood, and it was absolutely fantastic. And we have him back now for Brotherhood, which is the last of the Hood trilogy, and he'll be coming on and discussing that, and we can't wait to have him on. It'll be absolutely fantastic. So more details on that later on when I'm in the middle of actually putting the promotional video together as we speak. So I'll throw it up later on, give you the rest of the details, and come and join us for it because it was pretty interesting listening to Noel and his thought processes, and it was interesting to hear him talk about certain scenes and stuff like that. So if you haven't watched it, it was an absolutely fantastic stream. Go and watch it. It's seriously worth the watch. I'm not just saying that because he was on, but it was very fascinating stuff. Very fascinating indeed. So if you haven't checked it out, go and check it out because it'll be here in a couple of weeks' time to, as I said, to finish off that trilogy. And we've been keeping in constant contact I have to say, since he's been on the first time, uh, it hasn't been one of those things where we haven't kept in touch. We actually have, and he's checked in on me, and I've checked in on him. So I have to say, from what I've seen, and talking to him and getting to know him, he comes across as a genuine bloke. I have to say, very genuine. And I mean, the fact of the matter is, he doesn't have to even check in on me, but he has. So it shows that he cares too. Um, so I'm delighted to host him, delighted to have him on again, and it'll be absolutely fantastic. So come and join us for that. And as I said, I'll be back shortly with the Christmas invasion, the start of our new Who watch alongs. So come and join us for that. And we'll be doing all the Christmas specials. The next one will be the Runaway Bride, of course, and then so on and so on and so on. We'll be doing all the Christmas specials. So come and join us. I'm looking forward to this. I've gotten into the Christmas spirit already because I've been watching me Christmas movies and stuff like that. So I'm well into the Christmas spirit now. So we're gonna do these movies and have watch alongs, and we're gonna have a bit of fun. So yeah, come and join me for that. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. As I said, I'll be throwing that stream up now in a few minutes. So if you're here now, get yourself into the other chat when I throw it up. Come and join us. As I said, it'll be absolutely fantastic. So like, share, subscribe. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Nice to have you on board, and we will see you all very, very soon, folks. And thank you to the people in the chat for the comments as well. We appreciate any interaction. As I said, without you guys, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. So we're eternally grateful. Thank you very much, and we will talk to you soon. Have a great day, folks.